It has been said that in Twilight Struggle, you need to know the cards well in order to play well. Well, we're going to take you through every card one by one, and we're going to help you become a master at Twilight Struggle. This is Legendary Tactics. This is an interesting card, the only one that affects Japan all game. It is a potentially powerful event which can help steer the course of Asia in the early war. How can each player optimize its use? Let's find out. The card is a starred 4-op US event that, when triggered, places enough American influence in Japan to gain control. And since Japan is a 4 stability country, that typically means this event places 3 influence. Also, from the moment this event happens, the USSR may not attempt coup or realignment rolls in Japan. This was not normally much of a threat anyway for the US, but effectively this locks down Japan for the American player for the rest of the game. To be fair to your opponent, this is definitely one of those events you should warn a brand new player about ahead of time. For the USSR, this card essentially makes Japan a lost cause, and as such means that the event card can be played without regret. Alternatively, for those 3-dimensional chess players out there, this card could be sent to space knowing full well that the American player is unlikely to play any influence into Japan because of this card, and therefore would be one Asian battleground country down for a good chunk of the game, especially if it goes to space after the turn 3 reshuffle. It goes without saying that, if possible, you will want to hold on to this card until after the Korean War event or Asian scoring card has been played, so as to keep the US player at a disadvantage with these 2 cards. For you risk takers out there, if you happen to get this card in hand and you know the Asia scoring card is going to happen, you might consider playing the China card to take control of Japan in one shot, and then send the US-Japan Mutual Defense Pact to space, which, if done in turn 3, can give you a potential Asian domination for a long while, until maybe turn 7 and beyond. It can net you a lot of victory points, especially if you remember to count Japan as a territory adjacent to the US, which isn't really obvious on the board. And you have a 50-50 chance of drawing it later on and burying it again. But realize you also have a 50-50 chance of losing your investment as well. It's an example of Soviet opportunism at its finest. As the USA, this card provides an interesting dilemma. It's arguably best to play this for ops. Play 3 ops into Japan to control it, and then you can play 1 op elsewhere. The card then remains in play as a safe 4-op card that will potentially return to your hand, and as insurance against the Soviet player trying anything in Japan, as unlikely as that is. On the other side of the ledger, because Japan is already under your control, it would then be a safe 4-ops card for your opponent to play if they get it first, and it could furthermore be a bad stroke of luck to get that card with a later play of Missile Envy. If you are stuck for a headline, it makes for a decent one, albeit an expensive one. 4 safe ops seems like a lot to give up in the early war. If you are in turn 3 though, and the Asian scoring card is sure to happen, the value of this as a headline goes up quite a bit. Either way, I think it makes sense to get the Japan situation resolved no later than turn 3 so you can move on to other areas of concern. So in summary, for the USSR, a flexible approach is best. If the ops are desperately needed, you can trigger the event without stressing about it too much. Otherwise, you might consider sending it to space if the situation is right. If you can make the US player scrounge 3 ops to shore up Japan so they're not short 1 battleground state in Asia, and in the meantime neuter a pretty great event, that is not a bad thing at all. For the US, similarly, you can be flexible with this card. It might really boil down to your style of play in the end, and how comfortable you are with risk. Playing the event is safe and sensible, while playing it for ops is a little more risky, even if you use it to control Japan. This has been our breakdown of the US-Japan Mutual Defense Pact card in Twilight Struggle. We hope you got some value from this video. If you did, please like, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. This is NATO with Legendary Tactics.